edition of the Rockpile Report podcast. I am your host, Bill season ticket holder Drew Gear. That's my producer, Chris Kruger. What a time to be alive. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are here, and the Buffalo Bills are, this is probably the most unexpected Victory Wednesday podcast of all time. When you consider the type of week we've had, I'm going to sit back with a nice cold Montucky as we enjoy this one. Guys, we got a loaded show for you tonight. This might be one of the pettiest podcasts we've done in years, and I can't wait to get into it with all of you. Thank you to everybody who's here, who's active in the chat. Connor Sush waited all week for this one. Tracy Brewster in the comments, as always. She goes, what day is today? I don't even know. Does it matter? The Bills beat the Patriots. Get in, losers. We're podcasting.
It is Wednesday, and I feel excited as I am very much the way you are with the Bills. I am with the Sabres. I feel like I can wear this hoodie proud, and I got this the other day to celebrate the firing of Kevin Adams with this Weller 107, my first Weller bottle. We can cheers to Jarmo Kekalainen. We've got an adult in the room.
So far, Sophie St. George, I've been looking forward to this one. Tonight's thumbnail mentally scarred me. Oliver across the pond. You're not alone there. Guys, before we get into all of tonight's detritus, nonsense, the laughs, the fun, I got a little promo for next week. Next week, December 23rd, it's on Festivus. And that's hilarious because it coincides with our 10th annual Festivus celebration and airing of Bills grievances. I don't have to explain the reason for the season to you. Everyone out there should know that Festivus is a holiday based around the idea of getting the last of your negativity out before the end of the year so you can start the new year and the NFL playoffs with a clean emotional state. We've been doing this for a literal decade, and it's one of the best bits I think our show has ever had, Chris. It's refreshing. I love it. We're running a contest for this year's one. For this year's Festivus celebration, we are running a contest, and it's simple. Send us your gripes, send us your groans, and what grinds your gears about the 2025 Buffalo Bills. In return, we're going to read and discuss them on the show, and every submission will count as an entry into a drawing that we're going to do live on the show for a number of awesome holiday prizes, including a pair of post-game field access passes for after the Bills-Eagles game coming up here on the 28th. Your choice of Grills Mafia apparel, a hoodie or a t-shirt, compliments of Reed Ferguson and Q42 Barbecue. An autographed bottle of Grills Mafia all-purpose seasoning co-designed by Reed himself. Montucky cold snack swag. We're going to have gift cards. It's going to be a fun time to be a fan of the Rockpile Report. So if you want in, it's simple. DM us at Rockpile Report on Twitter. Email us at therockpilereport@gmail.com. Or hit us up on Reddit, The Rockpile Report. I'm going to go put a post over in the Buffalo Bills official subreddit where I'm going to give these details to everybody else. But I wanted to let you, the listeners and the viewers, and those of you who we genuinely just like more than most people we know, we wanted to give you guys a leg up. Just send us proof that you're subscribed to us on YouTube and your most burning grievance with the 2025 Buffalo Bills. I can't wait. Make sure you get your submissions in. I can't wait to give some stuff away and have a lot of fun cleaning our emotional palate. Because I can tell you this, Chris. This week, I feel anybody in the mood to participate got plenty of ammunition from this week's football game.
Yes.
Guys, this is where we get to let's have some fun here. The Buffalo Bills recap. Bills week 15, Bills 35, Patriots 31. Here's your stats of the game. Josh Allen, 19 to 28, 67.8% completion percentage, 193, 3 tutties, no interceptions, 48 rushing yards, and a 123.1 QBR. Drake May, 14 to 23, 60.8% completion, 155, no tutties, 1 pick, 43 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 62.8 QBR, less than half of Josh Allen's. Drake May, a negative 2.1 yards below expected completion percentage. He didn't get any help from his skill positions in this game. None. Stephon Diggs, 3 catches on 4 targets for 26 yards and a whole lot of shit talk that fell upon deaf ears. Running back James Cook had himself a day, Chris, with a ton of touches, a ton of yardage, he led the Bills in yards from scrimmage. Kick returner Ray Davis averaged 41 yards per return attempt.
Very impressive. I am glad that we do have a kick returner now. I'm glad it took all this time.
I can't wait to talk about him later in the show.
Terrence McGee.
Linebacker Matt Milano, 2 sacks, 10 tackles, 6 solo run stops, 1 forced fumble, 2 tackles for a loss. He led the Bills in every single one of those categories. And then I've got some notable numbers. Chris, lightning round. I'm going to hit you with them. The number 0. 0. What am I thinking of?
Keon Coleman.
It's the number of teams who have ever come back from being down 21 points in Gillette Stadium until today. 1, the number of completions Drake May threw in the fourth quarter. 1. 1 completion in the fourth quarter. The number 3, Chris, what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
The number of rushing attempts the Patriots had in the second half.
1 went for a tutty.
Plus 70. Plus 70, Chris. What is it? Come on, you got this one. I have faith in you.
That's John Fina.
No. Plus 70 is the Bills' point differential in second halves over the last month of football, starting with the Tampa game. Plus 70. 4. This is an easy one.
James Cook.
Nope. It's the number of games the Buffalo Bills have won when they give up 185 or more rushing yards. When they give up, I'm going to say that again for the people in the back who think they just heard something crazy in their ear. When the Bills give up 185 rushing yards, they're 4-2.
Well, they are undefeated when they allow 30 points or more. That is also a thing.
These are the most counterintuitive statistics of all time. And the number 1. What am I thinking about when I say the number 1?
The amount of games Lindy Ruff has left to coach before he goes to the front office.
Nope. That's the number of text messages I got from actual NFL players this week telling me that my social media sarcasm and barbs are hilarious, especially when they're wrong. What a roller coaster of a game, boys. I started with a Montucky cold snack, you know, the official, unofficial beer of the Montana, but the official beer of the Rockpile Report podcast. And pretty quickly switched from guns to missiles. I went from a beer to an old fashioned to just straight bourbon pretty quickly. And I watched the game unfold and I tried to stay off Twitter. I was like, don't do it. It's me, my kids, we're having a blast. For those of you who think it's funny, tweeting snarky things on social media, I had a blast with my kids. We played Nerf guns, we wrestled, we played football. I taught Jack, my oldest, that sometimes it's better to block for your brother and have a successful play and get a touchdown than it is to try to be the guy who gets the ball and ask a 3-year-old to block dad. Sometimes you got to man up and do the dirty work. And he's learning and he's starting to understand that. And I feel like watching that is incredibly rewarding because it means he's going to be a better sport than me. And given his genetics, he'll probably be it's almost a given he'll be a better athlete than me, right?
That is 100% given. As we go to Skid Valve in the comments for a Wendy's double stack, this Bills team is deeply flawed, but good God, we will have a chance in every game we play in the postseason. Eli's Giants did it. Why can't we?
I can't wait to talk about that right there, Skid Valve. I can't wait to get into this because finally halftime rolls around. We're getting close to halftime. And I just go on Twitter because, again, now I've been drinking whiskey and I just put out a tweet. I was like, are we all having fun? Is everybody here who yelled at me last week, are we all having a good time? And I thought I was being funny. And then Josh Allen happened. And so, of course, fast forward to about 8 o'clock at night, I get a text message from Reed Ferguson going, dude, you are killing me with your social media. And I was like, what do you want from me, Reed? I'm a simple man with a drinking problem, maybe. I don't know. And he sent me a bunch of laughing emojis. And then he goes, what does your wife think? I was like, oh, she's learned it's been a decade of us being together. She's tuned me out. I don't rock her boat anymore, no matter what I say. That's why I turned to Twitter.
In any facet of life.
I don't have anything to, and then of course, Chris, I sent him a picture of like a screen cap of our tonight's YouTube thumbnail. And his response was, Man, that is hard to look at. Me having drunken conversations with an NFL football player, not on anybody's bingo card in 2025. But I defended myself by saying at least this time around, I wasn't the only one jumping to conclusions, okay? It wasn't just me being the guy from Office Space with my jump to conclusions, Matt, out here being a jerk. It was everywhere, and it's not just contained. I mean, let's go through it. First of all, our friend from Bussin' with the Boys, Will Compton. Okay, Will Compton tweeting out, this Patriots weak schedule haters are sick watching his ass beating on the Buffalo Bills. And he got community noted later in the evening. Chris, what is the community note?
That's where you get corrected when you're factually incorrect.
And what does his say? The Bills ultimately won this game over the Patriots 35-1.
Yeah.
Do you find that helpful? And like 500 people said yes.
Yes.
Or there's Nate Geary, who at 1:52 p.m., the game wasn't even an hour old, tweets out, I'm embarrassed, honestly. Just those three. What a time to be alive. It's everybody. Guys, I'm the problem, though. It's me, right? And I'm willing to admit I am part of it. But also, if you want to stick with people in the content sphere, how about this? How about Pat Moran? Pat Moran from the Talking Buffalo podcast. Just a picture of McDermott clapping his way up and down the sidelines. Says, good job in that last time out to give the Patriots a free 15 yards for an easy field goal as you prevent defense, Sean. Sean McDermott is completely embarrassing himself today. This is hard to watch. And when I saw that, you know what I thought about? Now, you don't watch TV, but some of you out there in the comments, there's a show 30 Rock where Tracy Morgan plays a character called Tracy Jordan who wins an Oscar for a movie called Hard to Watch. And that's all I could think about. And I started wondering, could Bills fans make a film about our collective suffering and sell that to Hollywood? Like, is in 2025, 2026, is there a market for that kind of film? I feel like everybody loves to feel like a victim these days. I feel like that would be a good one.
Yes.
You could be like, look at this whole city that's just downtrodden.
Yes.
Because of one guy who won't stop clapping. Oh, just catching up with some of these comments. He goes, here we go. Matthew Montgomery's got the popcorn on. Matthew Montgomery's been tweeting at me for days, antagonizing me. Just be like, I love it when you guys show up on Twitter. Someone with the never go full Rockpile Report, comparing it to Tropic Thunder and not never going full Simple Jack. That's a good one. Someone saying muted. Ryan Tongan, are we muted? Is something happening? Or
no.
Maybe people have me muted on social media. It's hilarious. You know who else in the content space was real spicy before halftime this week? How about Aaron Quinn, one half of the Cover One podcast, says, I'm booing the Bills off the field here at halftime.
And he's an optimist.
This is an optimist. I mean, you kind of have to be if you're that bald, you have to be an optimist. Like, you have to believe at some point life will get better than it currently is. And that guy at 2:20 in the afternoon is saying, I'm booing this football team. Like, I don't boo. I spout vitriol. I share hate. Booing is what I teach my children. I go, guys, if you want to express your displeasure with someone, you boo them. Because I don't want to tell them it's okay to tell them, hey, I hope you and your family get swept up in a tsunami when you're on vacation. You can't yell that at 5 years old. Maybe 40 years old. Maybe. I do. Somebody come and stop me. I want everyone to know exactly why I'm displeased and exactly where the hell they can go because of it. Booing is a childish thing. There's also a tweet that I bookmarked, Chris, by a very prominent member of the Bills content community that simply said, fine, fire everyone. I don't care anymore. That I bookmarked? That disappeared, oddly, between 2:30 and 5 p.m. on Sunday. Deleting tweets is coward's work. You tweet with your chest because none of this matters. Chest out, full throat. This is my stupid idea, and I'm going to float it into the ether. Someone goes, it would be a Tubi exclusive. That would be the Bills suffering movie. I mean, to be fair, at one point during the first half, the Bills win percentage was less than 9.5.
Yeah, I do like Matt Montgomery in the comments. Drew is the Randy Quaid from Major League. Great reference.
That is exactly who I am. I'm just back there.
Reference.
I'm giving them the high heat, and then when they start being good, I don't know how to take my foot off the gas. We're going to talk about that dynamic in a second. Ryan Mura, who's a very popular Bills fan on social media, tweeted out that Brandon Beane and Kevin Adams tomorrow, and it's that iconic picture of Doug Whaley and
Tim Murray.
Tim Murray just having beers in a bar after they both got fired in the same weekend. So, like, before they left Buffalo, they met up at the same bar and just happened to have beers together.
Yeah. Oh, Stereo 166.
That's so funny. And that's funny because Kevin Adams, the Sabres GM, did get fired the very next day. I love it. And then the eternal Bills optimist, Brother Bill. It even got, the negativity even got Brother Bill. I haven't seen a worse challenger than Sean McDermott since that failed space launch. He tweeted that 10 minutes into the football game. And I am somehow out of line by leaving a stadium. So maybe it's not just hack podcasters on the internet looking for attention who sometimes lose their shit with this football team. Okay? It's infected everybody. Brother Bill, the Cover One guys. It's everybody collectively in their feelings now about the ups and downs and the volatility of this football team. And I think it's just my complaints tend to carry more hate and more ill will, honestly. I mean, you guys should see the stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor for me. The stuff that I can't tweet. So I have no choice but to say it to the people sitting around me who then turn around with just appalled looks on their faces. Like, oh my God, you said that out loud in a room full of people? And I go, yeah, who are you going to tell about it? Who?
Matt Montgomery in the comments. I'll admit I had to turn the game off at 21-0, and then he played with his daughter. There you go. It's not just Drew.
Sometimes it is cathartic. See, Bryce Erdwine, trying to reel in the faith of my Bills backers group in real time was a full-time job. Yeah. Imagine being at a Bills backers bar for that. You're the chapter president. You have to try to convince a room full of people, guys, don't riot. Don't break anything and don't get drunk and puke in a urinal today. It's going to be okay. I guess.
Dude, if I was a Bills backers president and you showed up in my bar, the bar for a whole season, I could definitely picture at some point I would have to talk to you, and I would have to go, look, Drew, the owner came and talked to me. If you're gonna come in and watch the Bills game again, you can't be Bobby Knight and throw a chair across the room. You're going to get banned.
You know, it's funny. Iman Azizi actually got kicked out of almost got kicked out of a bar for throwing menus.
Iman Azizi, owner of Q42, throwing menus.
Throwing menus at a Bills backers bar in St. Louis. What a time to be alive. See, guys, as I pour a little bit of whiskey here for myself, it's the Saratoga Rye that we received at our tailgate for the Bengals
Joe
game.
Fryer.
What I want to say here is this. Some of you are out there going, I don't understand how things could have gotten this bad. I don't understand where all this attitude's coming from. You have to understand our position as the disgruntled, hurt, emotionally damaged portion of this fan base. Not all of us deal with our emotions as cleanly as you. A lot of those people are here tonight watching the show live and commenting here. You're here because there's something about the way that I process my rage, my frustration, my disappointment, my excitement that resonates with you. And I feel like over the course of what has been maybe the most up and down season we've had recently, like usually for the Bills, there's a patch where they just hit it and everything works and it looks good and you go, okay, there's the Buffalo Bills I know and trust. We haven't gotten any of that, and yet we're in week 15. So yeah, the natives are starting to get restless. Bills fans who have been diehard Bills fans, the content creators who are some of the most prominent of them, some of the biggest fans, the most visible fans out there on social media, they can't scream at their families about this stuff, so they take to social media to vent their displeasure because at no point have we been significantly reassured that this is all going to be okay. We just ride a roller coaster every single week. where we get in and we go up and we go down and then we get twisted upside down and somebody throws up in the back and you go, I don't know if we're going to die. And then when it comes easing back into the station and it's a win, you go, holy shit, I can't believe we survived that. And now I got to go get back in line for a week and wait to get back on the roller coaster again next Sunday. And it's going to be the same thing. And so I guess my point is, social media was built for days like Sunday. This is the perfect platform. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever have you. It was built for games like Sunday's Bills game. It really was, because this is one of the craziest things anybody's ever witnessed. It's one of the most volatile things anyone's ever seen in terms of sports. And it's great to be able to go back and revisit those moments and go, man, Chris, like that, what was that movie with Chris Farley goes, well, I was a real horse's patoot there, huh?
That's Black Sheep.
So you can go back and enjoy it in retrospect. And that's nice. It's fun. It's enjoyable. We shouldn't be yelling at each other about your tweets are who you are. If that's the case, I'm the worst person on earth, and you might not be wrong. But I think we should all be able to use that platform to scream our mutual displeasure. And what I love about it is sometimes the athletes themselves see it. And I get texts from Bills players going, you're hilarious, but stop. Josh Allen is tomahawk dunking on you. And I go, yeah, well, that's what I deserve. I want to raise a glass to everybody, not just me, not just you guys watching, not just those of you listening at home on podcasts or listening in your car. Everybody for being drunk and hyperbolic and overreactionary on social media, because honestly, I love it. It's refreshing, and I say we keep it up. Chris?
Cheers.
To hyperbole.
Go to Mark in the comments. I'm glad Drew didn't come to Cheektowaga Country Club on Sunday. Santa would have put him on the naughty list and taken back all his presents from the last 10 years and then given him a stunner.
I joked with my wife. I go, can you imagine me watching that first half at an event at the Cheektowaga Country Club where Santa's talking to children on what they want for Christmas? I go, we joked. There's actually a graphic I'll tweet. You can find it at Rockpile Report. I'll tweet it out and I'll pin it. My wife and my kids were coloring. My son came home with a picture and it was the Grinch standing in front of a tree with a Bills, like a Bills jersey on. And they colored it. And then my wife wrote on top, Daddy on Sundays. And my kids think it's the funniest thing in the world. So it's on the fridge. I would have turned into the Grinch in real time at the Cheektowaga Country Club during that first half. Now, speaking of stupid, what the hell was that game? Josh Allen puking was so memeable. I'm glad that the camera crew caught it. He's a certified wild man. He's a nut job. He's out of his damn mind. And he runs at such a pace mentally that he's nervous. And yet he's an absolute titan in his sport at the same time. Did you ever see Tom Brady vomit before he went out there and just dominated somebody?
No, but when I saw that on TV, because of my production brain, I'm picturing what's happening in the truck in between the cameramen that are all wired to the director of the broadcast. Because some cameraman had Josh Allen and probably said into his headset, Josh, something's wrong with Josh Allen. And so the director was like, cut to that camera. And then it's him puking. And then that cameraman probably got, yelled at by the director. We can't have that on CBS. You legitimately had me worried that something was wrong with Allen, and we cut to it, and he's puking.
I'll tell you what's funny about that is imagine being a defender going, wait a minute, what? He's throwing up over there? Oh, no. Because you know what that means. He's just you're not even nervous. Like, you're nervous. He's powering up. He's sick at the thought of what he's about to take the football field and do to you as a defensive player. Like, it's hilarious. And in that moment, I also think that, like, all of this, you think about, I'm just looking at the comments. In that moment, Drew is the evil Bills fan devil on all of our shoulders. I hope not. I hope you guys don't have me rattling around between your ears. Sup, Super Mexican? Nice to see you. Steve Noble in the comments. Every fan on both teams ended up looking like an ass on Twitter after that game, but in different ways. I'll take that. At least it swung our way. I will say that this game continues Josh Allen's history of going into Foxborough and absolutely giving the Patriots the business over the last few years. I mean, he's a petty son of a bitch. You can tell it just matters more to him there. Let's walk through it. 2020 on Monday Night Football, the Bills scored 21 second quarter points. Diggs had 3 touchdowns, and there's a pouty Cam Newton who got benched. He's watching from the sideline while Jared Stidham goes out there and just butt fumbles around, and the Bills beat the Patriots 38-9 on Monday Night Football, en route to another division title. Actually, Chris, 2020, we didn't win it in 2019. We made the playoffs. 2020 was our first division title. 2021, the Bills go into Foxborough with the division on the line, score a touchdown in every single quarter, and force the Patriots into the wild card round. Well, Stephon Diggs walks the back of the end zone, telling every New England fan to shut the hell up. Then we go on to have the perfect game against them at home just a few weeks later. Fast forward a year. On Thursday night in 2022, Josh Allen throws one of the all-time greatest sideline touchdowns. Like one of the craziest things anybody's ever seen. They said in terms of probability, like, you know how they have the next gen sports thing, Chris?
Yeah.
They talk about the probability of completion. It was sub 2% completion probability. And he hits Gabe Davis while he's triple covered in the end zone for a touchdown. And if you're a Patriots defender, you just throw your hands up and go, what do I do with this? We did our job, and none of it mattered. Nothing mattered. We cruised to a 24-10 win just days after Josh inked an advertising partnership with Gillette Razors, meaning that throughout the entirety of that game, while he was dominating them on the football field, his face was on electronic billboards all throughout Foxborough Stadium. And then 2023, we lose there, sit our starters last season there, and then this year staged one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history with just this absurd explosion of offense in the second half. I looked it up. Do you know that teams, Chris, with the 21-point lead at any point in time during a football game have a 96.4 winning percentage? And now the Patriots have to just walk around with the knowledge that they're somehow part of that 3.6% that found a way to fuck it up. It's awesome. What a time to be alive. And it's all because our quarterback is a maniac. This guy is the pettiest. And what I love out of the end of this, all that MVP talk about Drake May got real quiet this week, didn't it? All that Drake May MVP talk. Now it's people mad because you've got Dan Orlovsky talking about how, hey, my vote, it's a split between Josh Allen, Matt Stafford. Nobody's talking about Drake May anymore. that all got real quiet. This game was a perfect car crash, though. Like a perfect car crash of, like, I think I saw the tweet somewhere where they were like, it was that thing. It was Drake May and Josh Allen and a couple plays spliced together. And they said every Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until a Phantom shows up. Everybody thinks their quarterback's an NFL MVP until the MVP shows up and goes, hey, sit down. Go sit over there and watch how I do this.
I was telling my wife on Sunday, watching, like, in the first half, watching our offense work. And I was like, this is the equivalent of if we had a blizzard and we got 3 feet of snow and I went out to clear the driveway and I did it using a shovel while owning a perfectly good snowblower. Why don't you just use a snowblower? No. And I just give my wife every reason why I should use the shovel over the snowblower. I'm like, watching this offense is like that. It's like they're making this so much more difficult than it needs to be.
And then out of nowhere, Josh Allen goes, hey guys, do you want to see something cool? He just goes nuclear on a team and they go, oh no. And it's too late. You can't stop it. What I also love about this was that it was a perfect marriage of the idea that it was what the Bills started doing right and what the Patriots did wrong and unraveled completely on that made this so damning from one half to the next. Josh McDaniel lost his team this game. I thought about making him the zero of the night. Tracy Brewster, no, we didn't talk about the inactive list thing yet. That's coming. Just wait. Strap in. Josh McDaniel cost his team this game, and he almost made 0 of the week because of it. It's one of the most inexplicable things I've ever seen. At a time when they were out rushing the Bills by an absurd margin, at halftime, it was like 286 yards to 72. Yeah. They had almost quadrupled us up in yardage. They were getting .473 EPA per rush, which is the highest of the week for any team across the NFL. And then inexplicably decided to come out of the locker room at halftime and put the entire game on Drake May's back and say, May, go out there and win this one. And the results speak for themselves. Look, I'm going to walk you through their 5 drives because they only got the ball 5 times in the second half and they only possessed it for a total of less than 10 minutes.
I mean, well, there was that one play.
There's one play, but look at this. First drive, they have a 10-point lead. Run gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. It's a 1-yard loss. 2 passes and a Milano sack later, they're punting. It's a 3-and-out. Second drive, 3-point lead now. The Bills have cut into it. 0 rush attempts, 3 penalties, Hunter Henry's butterfingers, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 25, and Trey White has an interception down the field. Now you can call it an arm punt, but it's a pick. The third drive, losing by 2, they have a 65-yard touchdown run. Now, do you think at that moment when you go, oh, there we go, I should probably try to feature this when I get the ball back, right? If and when I get the ball back, I should probably let this running back have another touch, considering a 65-yard touchdown happened. Instead, they get it for the fourth time. They get it for the 4th time in the half. They're trailing by 4 now. 5-yard run on first down, sack by Milano, more Hunter Henry butterfingers, you punt. Game's over. You get the ball back with almost no time, backed up in your own end zone, you're trailing by 4. You complete a short pass, 5 yards to Matt Collins, who celebrates, which I don't know why he's celebrating, horse's ass. A sack by Rousseau, and then a hilariously poor execution of a mesh concept play on 4th down. That's it. It's exactly the thing the Bills have been screaming at Joe Brady. Bills fans have been screaming at Joe Brady. His running mesh against the Houston Texans got us killed. And on 4th down in a must-have moment, that's the play call from Josh McDaniel. His 4th read was the only one open. That's it. There was no other player open, and Joey Bosa gets this easy knockdown that I guess I didn't know he was still physically capable of. Everything that was interesting or dynamic about their offense evaporated the second they came out of the locker room at halftime, and it all went away. And what's awesome is that I spent the morning after that game, Monday morning, I sat there and listened to 5.5 hours of WEEI. That's 5.5 hours of WEEI because I'm petty, baby.
That's bold.
I just drew his negativity. Hashtag sports. Oh my Lord, that's brilliant. Yeah, guys, it's me and Taylor Swift just shaking hands going, hey guys, we both know we're the problem. Just so you know where the thumbnail came from, it's like, listen, me and Taylor Swift are probably the only 2 people who are very comfortable stepping to the forefront and going, hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Well, I knew that there was a thing there, like there was a saying, hello, it's me, I'm the problem. I didn't know where it came from. And I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, this is a Taylor Swift lyric. So then I watched the music video, and I'm like, well, where can I get an image from this music video? And then insert Drew, and then went through a couple of stills, and then ended up at the front door with Drew from the Mudlot. And that is hard to look at.
Yeah, Reed Ferguson's like, I can't. That's hard to look at. Josh Allen peeking over the bush like Wilson in Home Improvement. It's so funny because Josh Allen, again, it's me. It's personal. I feel like he's doing this to me intentionally. Every time I get lippy, Josh Allen's like, hey, Drew Gear. And he just, it's like that kick down a flight of stairs. It's every time. But hey, I'll keep doing it. Everyone's like, at this point, I did see multiple tweets about the idea that I need to continue being negative now. If only because the team seems to thrive off it. The second I become a dick on social media about the performance of the Buffalo Bills, they go off. They explode. They crush our opponent. And so maybe that's a thing now. I'm stuck. I'm superstitious. So, like, I wear the same underwear for every Bills game. I wash them. most of the time. But I wear the same underwear. I'm a superstitious guy. I believe I'm going to have to be even snarkier. Drew, you should send your hoodie to Vrabel for Christmas in sympathy. Why do you think I'm wearing it? Oh, the refs. Ooh. So here I am. I listened to 5 hours of WEI, and I got to hear the Greg Hill show where Vrabel did his appearance, and I got to hear him complain about the officiating live. Do you know how happy that made me? Do you know it just and also he made some lukewarm comments about the offensive play calling, which led to the afternoon guys, Jones and Keefe, like the guys who work like the 10 to 2 shift, Chris, speculating that McDaniel could be one and done this season. Weren't these guys going to a Super Bowl just like 5 days ago? 5 days ago, the Patriots were going to easily win the AFC East. They were going to easily win the AFC. They have the MVP quarterback. They have everything. Everything's great. And now all of a sudden, there's fractures forming in the foundation of that thing. And it's hilarious to see it happen. Now, we talked during our preview show, both this week and against Cincy, about how critical game script was going to be for the Buffalo Bills when it came to their opponent. But unlike the Bengals, where the Bills had to go literally wrestle that game away from them, literally and figuratively, the Patriots helped hand it over to the Bills just as much as we took it from them when you look at what they decided to do with their play calling. This was a tweet from Eric Turner over at Cover One. He laid out the second half opponent passing percentage by game. The Buccaneers threw the ball 48.4% of the time in their second half against Buffalo. Buffalo just exploded. We ran away with the football game, and then we made a few turnover-worthy plays at the end. We forced some turnovers. We got some action, and we won the game. The Steelers felt the gravity of what we were doing on offense and said, screw it, we got to start passing more, which in a windstorm with a banged up Aaron Rodgers is not where you want to live. 57.1% of their offensive plays were passes. The Bengals threw the ball 75% of their second half plays. 75%. Now, Eric Wood said on WGR earlier this week, you don't get to that if we weren't stopping the run. Like if we didn't just all of a sudden start crushing the run game, if Chase Brown, the Bengals running back, was ripping off 6 yards a carry, we don't get the Bengals into a pass first offense that we can then defend because our pass defense is actually pretty good. The Patriots decided, hey, guess what, guys, hold my beer. 83.3% of their second half plays were passing plays. And it fed directly into what philosophy the Bills have on defense. And what philosophy is that? Well, Chris, I'm glad you asked. I watched a video the other day where two guys got together and made a bottle of mead, but not just any mead, hot dog flavored mead. They boiled hot dogs, then cooked the water down to concentrate it. And then they fermented that hot dog water with yeast and honey for a month. And then when they pulled it out, they said, you know what? This doesn't taste hot doggy enough. We're going to give it a fat wash in another jar full of chunks of hot dogs to really amplify the intensity of this hot dog flavor. And it moved its way up to a 21% alcoholic beverage that was flavored like hot dogs. After all that time and effort, they described the final product as tasting similar to if you collected the liquid that you find at the bottom of a garbage can at an MLB baseball game. That's what this drink tastes like. And that's what I'm starting to think the Bills are doing in the first half of these football games. They're just out here making hot dog mead. They're out here making one of the grossest things I've ever seen. It's almost impossible to stomach sober. They are non-existent for the first half of their football games. And then they surge in the second half because they've figured out what you want to do. They've decided what it is about you they want to take away. And then they lean into the strength of the defense, which is their secondary. Now, that doesn't happen without a man. Like, Chris, we pulled this off without Christian Benford. We were missing our best cornerback. And with Trey White and Maxwell Hairston, we were able to shut down the passing attack of the New England Patriots. Completely zero it out.
Yeah, that was impressive what they did with New England refusing to run the ball. I think they got their second half game plan from Mike McDaniel, not Josh McDaniels. Mike McDaniel, because he did that, last year? They had the lead on us, and then they just were like, oh, yeah, we've been running. We're not going to do that in the second half.
We're smart. Hey,
yeah, we're smarter than you.
Ralph Wilson Sr. in the comments. McDaniel tried to showcase May. Thought the 2 called touchdown runs were out of the norm for him. Wanted him to impress with a blowout in the second half, and it blew up in his face. And that's probably true. Aren't they supposed to Oliver, aren't they supposed to figure that out from watching tapes of the other side? Are they really saying, fuck it, we'll do it live? Yeah, they are. Chris, who is that? Oh my God, the famous broadcaster who has the meltdown on air, and he's just yelling, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. That's what the Bills are doing in real time. They're like, we don't need no film study. We're just going to go out there. We have a game plan, we think, and then we'll figure it out as we go. Those defensive adjustments are the reason that the Bills have won these games. When you watch their DVOA on defense, there's like, but not just DVOA, all these statistical categories, sacks per snap, blitz percentage per snap. What you see is all of a sudden in the second halves of these games, they're getting hyper aggressive. And they're also taking chances they didn't take in the first half. It's like they have to feel you out first. Hey, we're going to lull you. Hey, we're going to allow you a ton of latitude. We're going to let you score 15, 16. We're going to let you score 20 points in the first half. Do you want to know why, though? Because we're pretty sure that the juggernaut we have at quarterback, and the fact that if any one of us can just stop fucking around and do our job well on defense, much less cohesively when we start getting more aggressive, we think we can Rochambeau you and take this thing, no matter how far we're down. And it's worked over and over and over again. Chris, we've been trailing in how many games now? And had to come back to win. And when we do it, it's convincing. Now, here's a question. In a year when the Bills have invested, for those of you in the chat too, I want to know your opinion. In a year where the Bills invested so much in getting youth, the Dorian Strongs and the, who was the free safety who hasn't gotten much play recently? The Ohio State kid. We drafted Hancock. And we got the linemen and Sanders and Walker. As the Bills have started to win these games down the stretch, what I find fascinating is it's not the young kids who are the ones impressing. It's the veterans who are starting to step in and impose themselves. It's the Joey Bosa's, it's the Trey Whites, it's the Matt Milanos. And so I want to ask the question, who had a more impressive performance on Sunday, Matt Milano or Trey White? In your mind, those of you in the chat, who had a more impressive performance, Trey White or Matt Milano?
I would go Trey White. He did get the interception. Milano had a couple of good plays. I mean, they're both older players trying to, perform well on defense. I think it's Trey White. I like that arm punt.
I love that in the comments, you guys are talking about Limp Bizkit. Do you know that as a kid, I convinced my mom because one of my friends, Scott Wilger, I probably shouldn't have said his name, but it's out there now. Scott Wilger, he was one of those kids who wanted to be cool, but he struggled with it. And he was like, oh, I have the Limp Bizkit CD. And I was like, oh, cool, let's listen to it. And it was the edited version. And I was like, well, that's lame. But also I got an idea. And what I did was I was like, Mom, can I go buy the Limp Bizkit CD? I'll get the same one Scott has. And then I went to Scott and I was like, Scott, I need your CD liner. You got to give that to me. So he gave it to me and I went to Sam Goody and I bought at the McKinley Mall and I bought.
You didn't go to Media Play.
Didn't go to Media Play. Went to Sam Goody in the McKinley Mall and I bought the hot dog, chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. And I took the CD liner out and I put the edited one in. And I showed it to my parents, and they were like, oh, okay, that passes muster. I gave it back to them. And I proceeded to rock out to what I thought at the time was high-class music, Chris. Keep rolling. What
Keep rolling.
Looking back at that era of music, God, like the 90s and the early 2000s. The music was awesome, but also there was a lot of crap in there.
They could rename that album today with chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored mead.
Dog flavor. I'm looking at the comments here. Who knew that Limp Bizkit would be on the chart in 2025 with a new song? Is that a real thing?
I think so.
Oh, God. See, now what's going to happen is I'm going to have a few more of these Montuckies, and I'm going to go home and look it up.
Not a lot of people know this fun. This is like the only fun fact I know about Limp Bizkit. They're DJ in the band DJ Lethal, also the DJ in House of Pain, Jump Around.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating. You learn something new every day. This is what you get for tuning into the Rockpile Report. I will say that for as much as I love what Trey White did out there, my hero of the week is Bills linebacker Matt Milano.
Don't take it personally, all right? Franchise star players are a lot like Highlanders. There can only be one.
That was a vintage Matt Milano performance. And do you know how long I've been waiting to see that?
3 years?
No, do you know that, Chris, think about it. So the year that we play Jacksonville in London, he breaks his leg. He's not available for the rest of the season. He comes back, he plays in December, but he's kind of a shell of himself. He's fighting through some injuries. Last year, he was around, but you wouldn't call him impactful. This year, Matt Milano has been here. He's missed some games. He's been unavailable. He's had his moments. But this was it feels like a game you can build off of. Because what I saw was old school Matt Milano doing the things he used to do. I've been screaming for weeks on this podcast about how the linebacker involvement in our pass rush has been non-existent, and it's killing us. In this game, they emptied the defensive clip. If you go over to the Cover One shows, I'm sure they're going to walk you through, especially like tonight. Anthony Prohaska is going to do the film room review of everything they did on defense and all the second half packages they rolled out. I guarantee you, Anthony's going to talk about Matt Milano as just this Swiss Army knife that he's supposed to be, that he used to be when the Bills' defense was at its best. Matt Milano made the impact. Multiple sacks at a point in the game when they were trying to pass and trying to lean into that to be the thing that cemented the game for him. He killed it. Whether it was coverage, whether it was on the bringing pressure, that's been the thing that's been missing from our defense all year. A linebacker who can be out there most of the snaps. And also, all season long, I've been bitching up a storm about how they've been taking him off the field on third downs. His third down snap percentage is very low compared to everybody else on the roster. But now this week he was out there. And Chris, do you maybe think that was the plan?
Yeah.
Maybe the plan was, let's just get Matt healthy. Let's get Matt healthy, get him to this point of the year and just, hey, Matt, go off. Go get yours. We're going to finally use you in some really aggressive packages when we feel like we need it. But we need you healthy to do that, and you haven't been. You know, the season entered with us talking about Joey Bosa needing a pitch count in order to keep him healthy. We didn't talk about that with Matt Milano, but maybe we should have been. Matt Milano probably needs a pitch count at this age with his injury history to get to the playoffs and still be able to be the all-pro caliber, max impact linebacker that we all know he can be. His performance this weekend was crazy. It was vintage. It's everything we're going to need if this team is going to have success in the postseason. I was elated to see what he put out there on the football field. Honorable mention was kick returner Ray Davis, because one of the biggest bitches of every pundit, every analyst everywhere when the Bills were losing football games, go back to the Texans game. Starting field position in games that we lose is generally bad. We haven't, up to that point, especially early in the season, the Miami Dolphins game, our starting field position was always terrible. We're getting nothing out of our return game. We're searching for answers at this position. Here comes Ray Davis and just solves the problem. Just steps in as, hey, I'm not getting snaps for myself. But it doesn't matter because now you're going to give me a job at kick returner? Fuck it, we'll ball. And he goes out there and puts on a show. And now he's become the most dynamic kick returner in the NFL in a very short period of time.
What do you average, 41 yards?
He averaged 41 yards per kick return because his kick returns were nuts this week. And he's been very good since they inserted him in that role. And I think that long term, this may be something he can hang his hat on. This may be the thing that saves his career. Because you think about it, you're always going to be the backup. You're the handcuff to James Cook, but also when James Cook came out of games, they didn't necessarily just hand it to you. In this game, when we're trying to kill clock, we gave the ball to Ty Johnson to go get that critical first down. They didn't give it to Ray Davis because that's no longer Ray Davis's role. His job is not to back up James Cook. Ray Davis has become the Bills' kick returner. First and foremost, running back third, and then maybe kicker, if they'll ever let him take the job. But all of a sudden, this thing that's been a gross deficiency of the Buffalo Bills and a thing that's been massively hindering us considering the way we want to play, because when you're backed up in your own end zone, it changes the playbook. It changes the way you want to approach offense. The fact that all of a sudden we found the most dynamic kick returner in football over the last month, all of a sudden we can open up the playbook on any given drive and look at the results. We are plus 70 in the second half of games. That's crazy. Plus 70? Those are like basketball numbers, not football numbers. So a lot of this, while we look at Josh Allen and we give him his flowers because God knows he deserves it. And we look at Matt Milano and Trey White and we applaud them. Ray Davis has sparked something. And if he can maintain this going forward, if he can be a dominant kick returner for the Buffalo Bills and ensure us at least better than average field position, the sky's the limit for this offense. They could continue this. This is something that's sustainable into the postseason. Now, the zero of the week, Chris, I got to give it to Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins.
You folks fell on your face. You get an F- in my book.
Imagine running around for the first half of a football game and jawing and talking trash to the Bills sideline. And the clips that the Patriots social media team put out in the first half about.
Yeah, Matt Collins showed up to the game on Sunday like
barefoot and shirtless.
Yeah, he showed up. He was dressed like Johnny from Nothing More, for anyone that likes Nothing More, who is regularly on stage in just jeans. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give Matt Collins is essentially now in the same category for me. Now that he's no longer a Buffalo Bill, I don't have to like you. I don't have to pretend to put up with your weird bullshit. You're in the same category as Mike McDaniel in the sense that all your weird, quirky bullshit is fine when you're a winner and when you're performing. When you're a loser, when you're talking trash and you're still getting dominated on the football field, now it's just weird. It's goofy. And I have no time or patience or respect for that. Those two collectively. And of course, Chris, during the broadcast, they had to keep pointing it out, right? No, former Buffalo Bills, Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins over there firing the sideline up, over there jawing with the Bills players, doing this, doing that. Talk your shit now. Humbled. That's it. All you can do is be humbled. I think Kendrick Lamar wrote a song about it. You should both go listen to it. Just going to take a look at the comments here. Ray Day as a kick returner and third string running back is cool with me. Of course it is, Bryce. Who would not love Ray Davis in that role? It's the best. In fact, it might be where he belongs when you think about his skill set, because Ty Johnson is slippery. Ty Johnson understands the angles that it takes. So think about that first down run he had to seal the Ravens game in the divisional round last year. Think about how he receives out of the backfield. Ty Johnson is your running back too. We thought Ray Davis would grow from last year to this year, and he hasn't, but he found a niche where he can still contribute at a high level. You have to let the boy go.
It'll be, won't be for a couple months, but, that'd be something I'd love to ask Matt Waldman when we have him on in the offseason. Did you ever see Ray Davis as a kick returner in your book?
Tracy Brewster. It was the first time I've heard him speak too. Yeah, no, Matt Milano. Can we talk about that? Not to bring us back, derail the flow of the show, but I'll tell you what. We finally heard Matt Milano. I didn't know. I was more stunned by him speaking to reporters than I was by his play. And his interview was exactly what I expect from Matt Milano. Chris, the dude's gorgeous, right? Like he's just a hunk. And he gets out there and he goes, yeah, no, I don't get high. I don't get low. I just play the game. And he's deadpan. He's looking right in the camera going, no, I don't get too high. I don't get too low. I just play the game of football. And they go, well, what about that second half? What about the second? He goes, I don't know. I don't think about it. It's one play after the next play after the next play. And I start to wonder, I go, is this guy just dumb, but super good at this one thing? Like, is that why he's able to be so emotional? Or is he just Zen? Has he mastered Zen? And that's why he's able to just go out there and be like, yeah, I'm out here playing a hyper physical, super emotional sport. I have no feelings about it. One play, next game, doesn't matter. I just go out there and do the job that's in front of me. Except I do it like a wild man sometimes. I loved that interview with Matt Milano, even though he said nothing of merit. It's amazing. The runner-up for Zero of the Week. Now, Tracy Brewster, you asked about this earlier. Whoever made the inactive decisions this week for the Buffalo Bills, you're a horse's ass. The Bills made some real choices this week with their inactive list, and I'm still scratching my head about it. Think about activating Palmer and Keon Coleman over Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, who made a fourth down catch for you during that Bengals game, and who has regularly, since being inserted back in the lineup, even though he's not dynamic anymore, he's making clutch plays for you. Gabe Davis is stepping up, and you decided that you didn't need him in this game. Oh, we're not going to need him. Instead, I need Palmer and Keon Coleman. Do you know that Palmer had one catch on 2 targets for 16 yards? Do you know how many catches Keon Coleman had?
The same.
None. Zilch. Neither of those wide receivers can hold Gabe Davis's jockstrap when you're talking about production in this offense this year. Keon had an embarrassing drop. A drop on a catchable ball, and everyone's like, oh, there's a flag. Maybe it'll bail us out. I don't want to be bailed out. I want a receiver that can make a damn play. Palmer ran 17 routes and only got targeted on 2 of them. Every game that gets played with those 2 guys out there is a missed opportunity. And God help you if you put Samuel back out there on the game day roster. I mean, I think Hardman has stolen Samuel's job at this point, hasn't he? Cooks, with his almost catch this week, has done more for the 2025 Buffalo Bills than Curtis Samuel. It's pathetic what's happening at the wide receiver position, but it's even worse when you decide you're going to bench Gabe Davis and play Keon Coleman over him in a game where you go, oh, I don't think we're going to need receivers. And then where the hell did we end up? In a game where you needed all hands on deck and one of the biggest comebacks in that stadium's history. I really wish this coaching staff would learn learn to tone down the hubris. Gabe Davis is better than Keon Coleman. I am sorry that you as a GM fucked up and drafted him with your first, second round pick. And I am sorry that you guys decided to bank on him instead of Mac Hollins. That's a you thing. Don't compound it with ego. Admit your mistake. Move on. Make him indefinitely inactive. Keon Coleman brings nothing to this passing game. Nothing. He's broken. He's useless at this point. I'm tired of seeing it, and it makes me sick. And then I think about the defensive line. Last week, we talked about Larry Ogunjobi and how benching him statistically would be addition by subtraction at this point. The team again opts to put him into the game, benches Fedarian Mathis, because their belief is he just needs more time. Oh, he just needs more time to knock the rust off. That's flawed thinking, and it's painful to watch. It's a real brain fart by this staff, and Chris, he did it again. He showed them why this is a terrible idea. For the 6th consecutive week, Larry Ogunjobi was the lowest graded run defender and tackler on the entire roster. Larry Ogunjobi has at least 1 missed tackle or sack attempt in every game for the last 6 weeks. He has no sacks on the season, and he alternates games where he either has 1 quarterback pressure or 0. And then he went out there and had a pressure. He had an opportunity to sack Drake May and had one of the most embarrassing misses of the entire weekend for any team anywhere. He's a flop. He's a liability. And they're blindly trusting that at some point he'll find his veteran mojo. Maybe he just doesn't fit here. Stop trying to square peg round hole this and just admit you made a mistake. A highly paid mistake, but a mistake. And move on. Get anybody into that role. I don't give a damn. I'm sure the coaches don't. Or at least the players next to them probably don't. I don't know, Chris. Like, am I making too much of this?
I think you're bang on. I mean, my personal zero would be your guy, AJ Epineza. I didn't like how he looked on that touchdown run. He just collapsed into the line, and then the running back got free out to the edge where AJ should have been. Also, it would have been nice if Maxwell Harrison was out there, but in that situation, you'd want a nice defensive end out there. He just like collapsed so far into the middle of the line that Henderson went far out and ran it for one of their 3 rushing plays in the second half.
That is wild that one got loose. Just looking through the comments, I like this by Bryce Erdwine. Milano's attitude reminds me of Palomalu at times. It really does. Some of the most violent players of the game of football really are just gentle guys. They're just dudes who want to hang out.
I do like super Mexican. Hogan shouldn't be here.
Hogan shouldn't be here. How about John Perry? Thank you. Chris, who is that? I can't read that. Chartreuse? Is that Chartreuse 07?
Yeah. Green or yellow?
Yeah, green or yellow Chartreuse. That's the question. What does John Perry do here? If I'm the Bobs and I'm going through the Bills front office going, what's your job? And the guy goes, well, I'm former head of officiating John Perry, and I'm here to help Sean McDermott make good decisions on challenges. I feel like right then and there, I would have a pair of guys ready to put a bag over your head and drag you out a back door and put you in a dumpster unceremoniously. Like, that's what I would do if I was in charge. Now, obviously, we're all glad that Chris, you actually said this to somebody at a tailgate, that working with me is a lot like working with Mr. Tarkanian from that Saturday Night Live sketch.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't get it, just Google it. Mr. Tarkanian, Saturday Night Live. Yes, that is how I would be running this. Also, I don't understand, to Brother Bill's earlier point, Sean McDermott is the worst challenger in football.
Well, wasn't there like a replay assist thing that was happening? Because didn't it happen for the Patriots on the next drive?
Oh yeah, replay assist got involved real fast. But hey guys, don't let that fool you about the fact that it's obviously the refs against New England. Guys, there's a reason I'm wearing this hoodie. There's a reason I'm wearing it. They can all kick rocks. Now, we obviously won the game. It's a lot of fun. And what you do when you're the pettiest, hardest drinking Bills podcast and you're having a lot of fun and you have a week where you're having the best week ever, you obviously don't stop by talking about final thoughts. You don't do that. No. You keep the train rolling. You get as petty as you possibly can. And so with that, we're going to bring out a Victory Wednesday edition of people who have it worse than Bills Mafia.
Fuck you both. Your lives are so fucking pathetic. I ran a charity $15K to raise awareness for it, you fucking losers.
We've got some real losers to talk about tonight. Because that's the thing. Anybody can sling mud when they lose. Real pettiness. You got to talk smack and sling detritus when you're a winner. You know, as the famous poet Ricky Bobby once said, we're winners. And winners get to do what they want.
Because they're winners. Winners get to do what they want.
There you go. I want to start by playing a piece of audio for you from our friend and longtime fan of Josh Allen, ESPN Radio's Rich Eisen, with a salient point about how all of us as NFL fans should feel right now.
Here's what I want to say on this front. With the Kansas City Chiefs not making the playoffs, first time in the Mahomes era, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss the Kansas City Chiefs when the AFC playoffs are hitting. You're going to miss the buzz You're going to miss the pizzazz. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank with no time left. You're going to miss something. The AFC playoffs will have less juice to it without the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
And obviously he's right, guys. Rich Eisen is right here. It is a somber occasion, so let's all raise a glass and have a moment of silence for the end of Kansas City's 2025 season. Are you out of your mind? I don't care at all. Watching the first of all, that entire fan base can kick rocks. They're like, "Oh man, we're really down, and it's cruel of you to punch down on us." You can all go to hell. I want you to hear it straight from look. I'm going to look right into the camera. Everyone out there, every one of you who worships at the Kansas City altar, I'll see you in hell. I'm happy this happened. I've been watching and absorbing every ounce of Patriots podcasting and radio and Kansas City area media. I'm dancing on the grave. It's hilarious to me that we're even here having this conversation. Because you know how petty I am? I went back and watched the full game. Not even the condensed like NFL Pro version. I watched the full recap of the game. And then I went through a live stream of the game hosted by this popular podcaster called How About Them Chiefs on YouTube. 115,000 people watched his game day, like just him streaming the game live and talking about it. 115,000 people, because I just wanted to wait for that moment. And then to hear the copium that happened afterwards, and then the Gardner Minshew interception that really brought it all home. I got to watch that with my kids, and we all cheered. And they were like, "Dad, the shout song again." And I was like, "Yes, my kids are petty too. I've done my job as a father. I have done it. This is the best." It's Christmas came early here in the Gear House. We listened to the shout song as Gardner Minshew slunk his way off the field after blowing the Patriots, Jesus Christ, the Chiefs season. It was awesome. It was amazing. I will regret nothing about not seeing Patrick Mahomes in this playoff field. And I don't, Chris, is that one of the dumbest clips you've ever heard? Like, who is he appealing to? Who is he trying to pander to by saying that we're all going to miss him?
I can tell you exactly who he's pandering to is the executives at all of the networks, because the only reason to have the Chiefs in the playoffs is from a ratings perspective. Them in the playoffs, you're going to get huge ratings, and they're not going to be there. But you'll have Jacksonville in there, Duval. You'll have L.A. in there. You'll have Houston in the playoffs, Pittsburgh, but not that ratings juggernaut that is Patrick Mahomes.
I love this. I love it. I can't drink that. I can't drink the Bing. You know that Bing Crosby Narragansett down there is like a year old? We can't drink that. That'll kill the man.
You know what? You know how you're going to drink that?
How?
We win the Super Bowl.
If we win the Super Bowl, I will drink that Narragansett. You can clip that and bring it back to me when we're here, sitting here doing the pre-parade show. And you go, "Hey, Drew, you do know you owe me 5 of these." And I'm going to get violently ill.
Yeah, you'll have to. You're going to have to clear out that refrigerator of all Narragansett, and you're starting with one right now.
Yeah, I am drinking a Narragansett because we're about to talk about one of my least favorite things, the Kansas City Chiefs, but I want you to hear this. First of all, I love Teddy Bandana. He goes, "I love this energy. It's 50 Cent level hating, and it's exactly why I tune in." Thank you, Teddy. I try, right? I watched that game. I watched the full game. I watched the condensed replay. I went back through and listened to the live stream, and I've been eating up every bit of Chiefs podcasting and media that I can get. And here's one of the things that I walk away from this with. A lot of people maybe don't realize it because I've been hating on them all season long because I am a hater. We are the pettiest Bills podcast. We're not good people. And a lot of people don't realize it, but the Chiefs didn't lose this game because Mahomes was injured. They lost because they're not a well-constructed roster, and they're not a well-coached roster. I think everybody gives Andy Reid, all of the, like, everybody, Chris, they have this weird thing. It's what we do to Sean McDermott. Everybody piles on Andy Reid when it doesn't work. And when it does work, they want to give him slaps on the back. When Sean McDermott's defense is terrible, they blame him, right? They don't blame his offense. They don't blame the defensive coordinator. When the Bills defense gives up a ton of yards, we go, what the fuck, McDermott? What are you doing? Because deep down, we know you are the architect of this thing, but there is a coordinator who's involved, right? There's a guy over here who's calling plays.
Yeah. You think Chiefs fans are out to get, was it Matt Nagy?
Oh, absolutely. The media is already good. Like, you can already see them gearing up against him and trying to pin the outcome of this season against Matt Nagy. But what's amazing is that when you go through what happened in this game, right, like the drive before Patrick Mahomes gets injured, it's the fourth quarter. They're losing by 3 points. They're in range to kick a game-tying field goal. Deep red zone, inside the 20. Mahomes scrambles and forces a pass up the sideline to Kareem Hunt, who's less than 6 feet tall, against a boundary corner that gets picked off at the 2-yard line. It's a terrible idea, but it was even worse execution. Why force that pass when all you have to do is throw it into the first row of the stands and you've tied the football game? Then maybe none of this happens. Maybe we're not here having a conversation about an LCL and an ACL and how many years is it going to take for the Chiefs to get right.
Apparently, according to Jamie here in the comments, Nick Wright said whoever wins the Super Bowl this year will have an asterisk next to it because you didn't play the Chiefs.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, considering he's one. What I love is that when he's on his own podcast, right? When he's doing his own personal podcast, I listen to his show in the aftermath of the shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Nick Wright is actually capable of some really poignant stuff. And he's a well thought out, well-spoken guy. He's also, he knows what he's doing. He's part of the shouty shows. He's a bloviator. He's an attention grabber who knows that if he says the hottest thing,
it's actually the show that gets the best ratings is First Things First.
If he says the right thing at the right time about the right fan base, he can get everybody's attention. And that's what he's doing. And he's making millions of dollars and he's profiteering off it. God bless him. We're out here doing the same thing. I'm just not trying to be a shock jock. Chris said before the show, he was like, oh, I wanted to troll on Reddit. He goes, I went to Reddit and I looked around online where they always do those posts of like, hey, Bill's podcasts. Who's good? Who's bad? He goes, I didn't realize how many people don't like us. He goes, it's not even that they like other people more. They genuinely dislike us. I've lived my entire life like that. It's either you love me or you hate me. And if you don't like me, you really don't like me. Like there's no middle ground here. So that doesn't shock me, Chris.
No, well, I did tell you I liked it because somebody I forget the post or what it was about, but somebody was like, I like Greg Thompson for his salary cap stuff, but other than that, he's a knob.
It's like, what? Who are you? What do you? But what I'll say is the way that I just described the Patriots, geez, I keep saying it because they have been the Patriots. They're dynastic, the Kansas City Chiefs. The way the Chiefs have lived all season, like, I just want here's some Marcus Spears audio about the Kansas City Chiefs and how they were built and what happens next.
I don't want to lose my mind, but the Chiefs are a little bit responsible for where Pat Mahomes is right now. With some of the decisions that they've made from a personnel standpoint, offensive line issues that they've had. He's had to run more this year than he's ever had to run in his career. He already had a banged-up knee trying to go create plays, and it's almost like Pat is always going to be in that mode where I have to make plays for this team to win. And you saw him this year early in the season start to put himself in harm's way. Y'all know I talk about it all the time. Pat legs in the playoffs. But they had to start treating like week 7. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Early in the year, everything about the Patriots failed Patrick Mahomes. So Patrick Mahomes had to cape up the way Josh Allen has to every single week. And also, there's some lessons to be learned here, hopefully, from the Patriots off. I keep doing it. I don't know why. They're dynastic, and I keep calling them the Patriots. The Chiefs offense, like they have to figure out what they want this thing to be. It was a whole roster built around speed wide receivers with limited catch radius and mediocre physicality and run support. So
yeah, how'd that go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Sky Moore, Xavier Worthy?
And this is the problem.
They're not good.
Well, they drafted for speed and spacing. And they thought that, hey, we can stretch defenses horizontally and vertically, and that's how we're going to win the game. And then defenses figured it out and got light and got physical and got safeties and got cornerbacks that can jam and people who can tackle. And all of a sudden, the Chiefs' job got harder. But they still won. And then it got harder, and then they lost Tyreek Hill, and then they kept buying into those body types. But unfortunately, you only get one Tyreek Hill per go-around. That doesn't just fall to you in the third round every time. So now you have all these bum receivers, right? Hollywood Brown, cast off. Tyquan Thornton, cast off. I think he was a second-round pick. You've got Hollywood Brown, who was a first-round pick, who didn't latch and didn't stick in Baltimore. Who else? Juju Smith-Schuster, another second-round pick that was talented, but then really kind of fell off a cliff. They built almost as bad of a wide receiver core as Buffalo, and then they degraded their offensive line, specifically a tackle, an unexplosive group of running backs. No running game to speak of. So they had to lead the NFL in screen pass percentage to make up for it. They built a roster that was like, hey, we can we can trade away Joe Tooney. We can get rid of Joe Tooney. We can get rid of this guy. It's okay. We'll just plug and play because Pat Mahomes is so good. And they did the same thing that the Bills have been doing for the last 5, 6, 7 years, where they go, hey, we can flirt with disaster. But the Bills have been getting away with it. And then over time, finding a more sustainable roster makeup. Like when you think about where the Buffalo Bills have been, it's what I keep thinking about where the Chiefs are now. They never had to take their medicine. And all the times that we played them, we kept running into them in the postseason with different iterations of what our roster would be. And they kept getting past us, whether it's a few lucky bounces here, a few non-calls there. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they won those games, whether it was divisional, the championship game. It doesn't matter. We haven't been to a Super Bowl because of this team. They've been winning at our expense. But it's almost like that movie, The Dark Knight Rises, where Bane looks at Batman and he goes, you're soft, you're weak, you're old. Victory has defeated you. That's what's happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. All that winning convinced them that Pat Mahomes is so good, he doesn't need a star offensive line. No, why should we pay for that? He also doesn't need a Tyreek Hill, Chris. You know what we can do? We can afford to just throw anybody in there. As long as they're fast, Pat Mahomes will find him for touchdowns.
Yeah, Rashid Rice is only fast in a car.
And you're watching the degradation of the talent of your football team. And now, throughout the course of this process, they've been putting more and more on Patrick Mahomes' plate. Going, hey, it's okay. You can balance out the football team. What they did with their offensive line this year was about the same caliber as what Josh Allen took to the championship game in 2020 when Ryan Bates and who else was starting for us? Like there was Ryan Bates starting for us. There was
it John Feliciano?
John Feliciano was out there, but also there was a couple other guys who are just career backups in the NFL. That's what the Chiefs have done to their team. But those were choices. Those were choices made by a GM and a head coach who thought they could get away with it. And the difference is they flirted with disaster and lost. And now they lost huge. The Bills have done the same thing, and we got away with it. Like, we got away with it and then found a more sustainable roster makeup. Our offensive line is stacked. Josh Allen won the MVP last year because our offensive line could keep him clean and support a strong running game. Our wide receivers need work, obviously, but at the same time, this is an offense that's third in the league in scoring. We can churn out points because Josh Allen is a juggernaut. The offensive line is good. Even our backups are good. The Chiefs don't have starters. For all their luck in getting past us all these years, the Chiefs' luck finally ran out. They ran into 2025 with a punchless offense that played with limited physicality at offensive tackle, tight end, and wide receiver. Positions the Bills have at least physicality in spades, and it's paid dividends for our rushing attack to help us win football games. They've been forced by default into one-dimensional play that forced their quarterback to try to be Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in his career, had to be Josh Allen, and it got him killed in an NFL sense. It ended his season. It ended in the worst case scenario for any team that requires a Superman quarterback. And now they're going to have to go out there, Chris, and play out the string with Gardner Minshew. What do you think the odds of success there are?
I mean,
Can't be great.
No, I mean, I'd be more interested in how Gardner Minshew arrives at the stadium. He's going to look like he belongs in a Montucky ad.
This is what's crazy to me. They're $44 million over the cap next year. Do they tear down and retool for 2027 when Mahomes is available for a full year? What happens to the remaining star power on this roster if they do that? Are Travis Kelce and Chris Jones still in the NFL at that point? Probably not. I don't know. Like, the silver lining is that they got to play the game their way and they hoisted a bunch of hardware in the process. But it's also a reminder and something hopefully that our owner, us as Bills fans, our owner is paying attention to. Nothing gold can stay, and wasting opportunities will eventually catch up to you. And also getting cute and not having a fundamental philosophy of who you are, it will kill you long term. Especially if you're the one saying, hey, I need my quarterback to be Superman. You never want to be in that position if you're also trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you also don't want to be in the Rams position. F them picks.
Yeah. So right now, the Buffalo Bills, by comparison, are odds. Yeah, Mr. Swift finally met Mr. Time. Joe Fry in the comments. It's fascinating to watch and think about what this team will look like when Patrick Mahomes is healthy enough to actually contribute again. Like, contribute at a high level, to be Patrick Mahomes again. I don't know what this roster looks like. They may have to tear this thing down to the studs in his absence, play Gardner Minshew or some retread, some journeyman for the first half of the season, and then put Mahomes out there and let him get his legs back under him, knowing he won't be ready to the team won't be built to compete. It's the funniest thing that could have. Chris, this is the most damning ending to a season that the Chiefs ever could have earned. And I can't think of a better group of people for it to happen to.
Well, I don't know how bad it'll be for the Chiefs, considering Mahomes has already had the surgery and he's already started his rehab. So
it's LCL and ACL.
The fact that you got
Dr. Chow flat out said, he goes, it could be November before he's ready to start. Really start.
Well, the fact that he got the surgery within 48 hours of it tells you he's going to do everything he can to be ready in September for week 1.
I like someone in the comments, he's starting week 1. From your lips to God's ears, put him out there. Put him out there and put him against the Buffalo Bills. Nothing would make me happier. So, hey, let's all raise a glass to the end of the Kansas City Chiefs 2025 season. Guys, what a time to be alive. And then I know that we're over time. I know that we're running late. Chris probably wants to go to bed, but I would be remiss if, as the Pettiest Bills podcast, we didn't also talk about the Miami Dolphins officially eliminated from the NFL postseason. It was one of the hardest games of the weekend to watch. They're impossible. I can't wrap my head around how terrible both of those football teams were for the first, 26 minutes of football. It was 0-0 deep into the second quarter. And I'm telling my wife, I go, look, the longer that this, no one scored a touchdown, the higher the odds this game ends on something really stupid. As a fan who's watched a lot of Bills-Browns games, I know that feeling. And I was like, it's going to happen. Well, in the second half, the Steelers opened it up a little bit. That was good. But what a shitty game. All because, you made Aaron Rodgers look like a savant by comparison. Chris, Aaron Rodgers looked like a savant by standing next to Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of Monday night.
He didn't
all.
look rosterable. He didn't look like an NFL quarterback. And then when he finally had a drive going, he throws one of the most inexplicable interceptions, like one of the worst underthrows of the weekend. Of course it's Tua Tagovailoa. Why wouldn't it be? And now he's benched for Quinn Ewers. He's benched. Do you know how much money they owe that guy and he's not allowed to play football? Do you know how much, like, has a franchise that we know, or at least in the AFC, been this wrong about a quarterback before? What's the worst? What equates in the NFL sense to a Tua Tagovailoa misread on how to extend a quarterback before? Like, I saw a tweet today where someone was like, hey, Brian Flores might have not been ready to be an NFL head coach, but he sure as hell was right about Tua Tagovailoa.
I think the play with Tua being benched is really, let's ensure that we lose out now that we're out of the playoffs. We see what we got with Quinn Ewers, and then, we're not going to win the rest of the season. So let's see how much we can improve our draft stock if we lose out so we can't play Tua.
I like Matthew Montgomery. Gardner Minshew throwing a pick to end the Chiefs season was not on my 2025 bingo card. Can I tell you that if you go back and watch any of those, because they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube, all the guys are like the live stream football games, and they're like, hey, watch with me. I built a community and we can talk together. First of all, I'll never do that because if the things I say in the middle of these games, you people will never speak to me again. Also, I was watching a bunch of those, and what I can tell you is that hearing the deflation in their voices when Gardner Minshew threw that pick, because in their minds, they're like, cool, we're in field goal range, we're going overtime. Oh, and Gardner Minshew cost us our season on his 5th pass of the game. It's such a hilarious set of circumstances, and they deserve it. They deserve every single ounce of it. When you talk about the Miami Dolphins for a second here, I had a tweet earlier today, and I had a conversation with some of my coworkers today about quarterbacks in the AFC. And one of the problems is when you're the one paying mid quarterbacks, you're in trouble. Think about it. The franchises that have paid star quarterbacks, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, I'd even go so far as to say the Bengals, because injury notwithstanding, Joe Burrow he's a great talent when he's healthy. If you paid one of those 4 players a market level contract, you're a winner because they are outperforming. They're winning you football games. They are the reason that you are relevant in the NFL. If you paid anybody else but them, you're probably in a little bit of trouble. You see this with the Chargers. You've scored 16 points against the Chiefs. You go, oh, shit. Man, our kicker's automatic, but we really have to find a way to gut this one out. And you have to hope your defense holds. You have to hope your rushing game can carry you because your quarterback is good, but he's not elite. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars and you paid Trevor Lawrence, you're like, oh my God, our defense has to be incredible for us to win these games. And also Trevor can't make any mistakes. If you're the Dolphins and you gave Tua Tagovailoa that contract, you're fucked. There's no other way about it. You are in the shit. And there is no way out because that contract is not tradable. It's not cuttable. You're just stuck with it. But what GM or head coach is going to come in? Because Chris, I mean, first of all, there's no hope that the Patriots lose to the Dolphins now that Quinn Ewers is starting, right?
I've already put it in the chat per Jeremy Rogers. He said, what if the Pats lose to the Dolphins? I said, Drew and I will both drink a Seagram.
I will drink a Seagram
on the show if Quinn Ewers beats New England. We will both drink a Seagrams.
It's incredible. It's incredibly improbable that this happens. So now you're guaranteed. Although during our earlier show we talked about why the second seed might not be the crow's nest that everybody thinks it is. We talked about why for the Bills' path to the Super Bowl, being the 5th seed or not the 5th seed, the 6th seed might actually be the sweet spot. We talked about that during the Browns preview show we recorded earlier tonight. But I guess the ultimate question is, how does Mike McDaniel survive this? You're going to have a new GM come in this offseason. He's going to look around like Andy, checking his computer going, all right, who did this? Who signed these contracts? Who built this thing this way? Who hired you, glasses wearing idiot? Cut your hair. I would love to see it if they came in with a Yankees policy where they're like, everyone has to have a brush cut. No mustaches in this place. Hey, we're going to change the culture around here. It's been too country club. We gotta make it a drill. They gotta hire a drill sergeant, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what that looks like, but also, how does Mike McDaniel survive going on to another quarterback? Who can they get? They still have to pay Tua. He's still around, but if you don't want to play him, what are you going to do?
There's no way that McDaniel's keeping his job. They need a GM, so you bring a GM in, and he's going to want his own head coach. I highly doubt that there's a situation where he brings a GM comes into Miami and keeps McDaniel for a year to see how it plays out. I mean, I think McDaniel's as good as gone when they hire a new GM.
I love that we get to sit here and talk about the downfall of people we hate. Mike McDaniel, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Miami Dolphins. In the comments, Super Mexican, and no Bills fan shall remain sober if the Pats lose to the Finns. From your lips to God's ears. Guys, we are the pettiest, hardest drinking Bills podcast, and we've been here all night just talking trash. An hour and a half. We love you. I love how many of you are still here hanging out, watching this thing live. Thank God for you guys. This is why I love doing this. I get to come in here, talk shit like I'm sitting at a bar, pontificate, bloviate. Who gives a shit? Are we all having fun? Guys, what a time to be alive. The Buffalo Bills are a 99% or more lock to make the playoffs. This win against the Patriots was one of the most inexplicable comebacks. And again, plus 70 in second halves for the last month and a half of football. Chris, everybody needs to be real worried about the Buffalo Bills. It almost feels like you watch the Browns struggle in second halves and have to have these dramatic end of game wins where it's like, oh, we're struggling to get to 24 points. It just feels like the Bills are that it's like Billy Madison, where it's dodgeball and the Bills finally figured out that they could catch the ball. Everybody's in a lot of trouble. As long as the Bills stay healthy between now and the playoffs, everybody in that playoff field is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, just like next week. Put that out there. Festivus is next week. Get your submissions in.
For those of you who are listening who weren't listening earlier, the Bills, the Rockpile Report Festivus celebration, we're giving away a ton of stuff. We're going to have giveaways that matter for the first time in a long time. We're getting together for Festivus for the airing of Bills grievances. We get to just, again, a palate cleanser before we hit the playoffs. Make sure you get your submissions in. Once again, you can DM them to us at Rockpile Report on Twitter, therockpilereport@gmail.com, or the Rockpile Report on Reddit. Just to go over what we're giving away one more time, a pair of post-game on-field passes for the Eagles game on the 28th. Your choice of Grills Mafia apparel, some autographed rubs, Montucky swag. I love that we get to come out here and do this, and I want to reward you guys who show up every single year and contribute. We finally have stuff to give away. I'm just happy to do it.
Dude, I already got a notification from Teddy Bandana in the email. And we're just ending the show.
They're already coming in. Guys, make sure you get your entries in for 2025's Rockpile Report Festivus celebration, the airing of Bills grievances. Get them in. This season has given us nothing but detritus. Let's spew it. Let's get it all off our chests and move into the playoffs with a clean slate. I can't wait. But for tonight, we got to get the hell out of here. What is it, 9:35?
Yeah.
Hour and a half behind the microphone. Who else but us, Chris? I'm Drew Gear. That's Chris Kruger. This has been your Rockpile Report.